Joe Cornish is an architectural historian and part of the Historic District Commission here. Hey, Joe.
Hi, Norm.
So Belmont is such a beautiful city. Tell me how it developed.
Well, Belmont was open farmland in the early 19th century, and then when the trains came in the 1840s, the farmland was subdivided and sold in individual house lots.
So once they were subdivided, how were the houses designed?
Some of them were built on spec, and some homeowners could select styles from catalogs.
Well, there's certainly a lot of different styles here in Belmont, but there are a lot of Victorians. And what are the key characteristics of all Victorians?
Well, the Victorian period is the period of Queen Victoria's reign in England, so it's from the 1830s to about 1901. And the Victorian style really celebrates industry and the ability to use steam power to carve woodwork. And Victorian homes were really distinctive in having porches, having complicated roof systems, and a variety of materials that could be used.
Now, there are similar characteristics to Victorians, but there are many different styles. I mean, for my eye, this one looks like a Queen Anne.
You're right, this is a classic Queen Anne style house. And what distinguishes a Queen Anne style, you have the intersecting gables at the roof and the complicated roof system. You have the conical roof at the corner tower. You have a variety of cladding. You have clapboards being used in the projecting bay and above the porch. And then you have these decorative shingles being used at the tower. And then you have the classic wraparound porch.
Right, and here you see where the industry comes into play. You've got beautiful balusters on the porch, a lot of decorative millwork on the outside of the house. Let's take a look at another one.
So this is a Gothic Revival style house.
It's a lot more dramatic than the Queen Anne we were just looking at.
You're right, the Gothic Revival style house, the typical elements are the board and batten siding that you see at the second story. The paint color here is really typical of what you'd see in a Gothic Revival style house, earth tones. You have the steep pitched gable roof too.
Now looking at that gable, the steepness of it, it looks like they took some influence from church architecture.
You're right. The Gothic Revival style is based on the cathedrals of medieval Europe. And what we see borrowed from that style are the arched windows and the decorative dormer hoods that you see at the roof.
Right. Are there any other Victorian styles here in Belmont?
Yes, I'll show you. So this is a Second Empire style house. The Second Empire style of architecture is based on French architecture during the time of the second emperor, Napoleon III.
Right. Completely different look from what we've seen. No steep pitched roofs or gables lined up on gables, no turrets. This is a mansard roof, almost a perfectly vertical roof with a very low pitch roof on top of it.
Yep, the mansard roof is a key element of Second Empire style architecture, and those decorative roof slates are also an important feature. The 2/2 window sash and the large window openings on the first story, we have floor to ceiling windows.
Right, well, a different look, but a lot of detail nevertheless. Well, our project house is a shingle style Victorian. And back in the 1990s, we renovated a shingle style right here in Belmont, and I'd like to show it to you.
Great.
Well, here it is, and I gotta say, I hardly recognize it. The color has been changed. The wood shingle roof that we put on the front of the house is gone and replaced with asphalt. Looks quite different.
Well, it's definitely a shingle style house, and the shingle style was influenced by the colonial houses in New England that were covered with wood shingles. And you can see here the sidewall of this house is completely covered in wood shingles. The asymmetrical roof is a key element to the shingle style. Also the fieldstone foundation and these great stone piers at the porch. And most importantly, that great eyebrow window at the roof.
Right, and we did some work on that, but I gotta tell you, it looked nothing like this when we first walked up to it 20 years ago. It was covered with asbestos shingles over the wood shingles. That happened frequently around this area. They didn't want to paint, so they put on these terrible asphalt shingles. The homeowners wanted those removed. We took them off and properly disposed of them. And most of the shingles were in pretty good shape, but there were some areas where they were a little bit tough and had to be replaced. So we showed the homeowner how to remove the bad shingles and put new ones in place. And he got pretty good at it. But there's one more thing I want to check on, the kitchen. That was a big part of this project. Now this is starting to bring back some memories. When we started this project, there was a tired old kitchen back here. There were some walls. It was a very small space, and the homeowners wanted a new kitchen. So he said, well, you got to do the demolition, and we taught them how to do demolition, and they took care of that for us, which was nice. And once it was done, we did some electrical work, some plumbing work, and then installed these beautiful painted cabinets, tile countertops that were installed by the Ferrani brothers. Looks like they even have the original appliances. I gotta say, this kitchen has held up pretty well for the last 22 years.
Great. Well, it's great seeing these Victorian style light fixtures that you added. They're really a nice feature. And the fact that you retain the original wainscoting here.
Right, well, that's something that the homeowners wanted. So Joe, got to thank you for Victorian 101. We learned a lot today.
Welcome.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.